Hi, this is Josh, and this is a video review of the Namco Museum for the Nintendo DS. The way this video review is going to work is, the first half will be my showing you how the game plays, the different settings, different options, multiplayer, and then at the very end I'll give you a few of my thoughts and opinions. So just sit back and relax, and I hope you enjoy Pac-Man. To sum this game up, it's basically a bunch of really old arcade games ported to the Nintendo DS. That's right, games you probably played when you were a child that were really out of date when you were a child are now available for the DS at one low cost. So let's look at what we have to deal with here. If you have a friend, you can play Pac-Man with that friend over wireless. You have arcade, a demo if you want to have somebody else play the demo of the game, and the library. So let's first look at the arcade. Here are the different games you can play. There are, well, 7 games you can play. That's right, 7 games in one. Let's go through each of the games and see how they play. First off, when you select a game, the bottom screen, the touchpad, has all the settings and options. You can change many things, difficulty level, lives, button settings, all that through the bottom screen. You can pause at any time in the game and change your settings. Handy if you want to change a few things. You can also go back in and out of the game, go to a different game, that kind of thing. And you also even have hardcore options. That's right, if you're really hardcore, hardcore options. And if you can't figure out the 2-button settings, how to play the game is there. Most games are pretty self-evident. The first game is Galaxian, where you shoot lots of things coming down at you. Kind of Space Invaders, but with a bit better graphics on your DS. So how does this game play? Well, just watch. Plays basically exactly how you played it back on the arcade machine so many days ago. And here we go, just shooting things, having a good time. Is that 8 bits of graphics? Maybe 4 bits? I don't know. But we're watching. We're playing. And sorry about the way my camera picks this stuff up. I had a really tough time with this game because of, well, the lack of much on the screen. The autofocus sometimes goes off. But this is the game. It's how it plays, just like you played in the arcade. It runs perfectly fine. And I'll let you watch a bit more of this. Next up is Pac-Man from 1980. That's right, 27 years ago, this game came out. Now it's on your DS. And here we go. It's the original Pac-Man in all of its Pac-Man glory. Do I need to say anything more? It's Pac-Man. I mean, really, guys, it's Pac-Man. Galaga, which is actually a sequel to Galaxian, the first game I showed you, is also on here, which plays just like the first game did, except a bit more difficult, and a bit more sprinkly starred background. But if you haven't played this game before, you're probably under the age of 15. Or 20. Yeah, it plays perfectly fine. It's just the same old arcade game. And here we go, shooting things, having a good time. And things come down at you. And that's the game. There you go. Zevius? I don't know how to say the name of the game, but it's on here. And this is a above third-person plane shooty thing. You can shoot at things flying at you and also things on the ground. With 2 buttons, that's basically all you can do. So, that's the game. As you can see, the graphics are fun-filled and entertaining, and the game plays perfectly well. I'm not quite sure what Mappy is. Is it a mouse? Is it a mouse with issues? It's on here. It's kind of strange. But it plays fine. I imagine this is how it's supposed to play. The mouse keeps trying to steal things from you. He's basically stealing things from you. And yeah, there you go. That's the game. I'm not really sure what's going on, but it plays fine. I assume this is how you're supposed to play. Thank God we moved away from games like this. The Tower of Draga is a really old school role-playing game. Dungeons. It's like if Diablo 2 was somehow transported back in time to the early 80s. This is how it would end up. Just like this. Anyway, I don't think I need to say anything. The game pretty much speaks for itself. Dig Dug. It's such a great game. Not really, Dig Dug is kind of fun. I enjoy playing Dig Dug. More so than Pac-Man. Death to the Pac-Man. So, here's Dig Dug. The same way you probably remember playing it at the arcade. Or on your computer with emulation. But it's Dig Dug. It works perfectly fine. Moving on. Now, let's look at the other options in the game, because there are other things you can look at. Such as the music box, which lets you listen to all that great MIDI music from the 80s. And, yeah, it's just all there. Take my word for it. Also the library, which has, of course, all your games in it. High scores, if you racked up any high scores. And the credits, because you want to thank these guys in person, really, for the job they've done. And there you have it. So the game is really too little too late. You only get a few games, which, seriously guys, they could have probably put like 50, 100 arcade games on a DS cart. These old school games are like nothing, like 20k each. Old Nintendo games were like 30 or 40k each. They could probably put a couple hundred of old arcade games. They could probably put every old arcade game you ever could possibly think of from the 80s on here. And still have had room for more. So, the fact you only get a few handful of games for the amount of money you're paying, it's just not worth it. There are much better things you could do. If you really want to play old arcade games, or old games in general, just buy a third-party card for your DS and download games and put them on there. I mean, seriously, it's just not enough to make this game worth the effort. So, unless you really have like a Pac-Man fetish, I would recommend passing on this game and finding much easier and better homebrew solutions to playing old school games. Otherwise, you're just gonna get eaten by a ghost all the time.